On today's episode, Dr. Liz and I welcome Kilie Tomadakis to the show. Kilie is a wife, mother of three, entrepreneur, and passionate advocate for strong families. She also wears a crown. She's currently Mrs. South Valley and is running for Mrs. Utah America in March 2026. Kilie shares powerful stories of miracles and mercies in her life, from her birth and her biological dad giving up parental rights early on, to the influence of her mother and stepfather, along with lessons she's learned about hard work, chasing your dreams, and helping others along their journey. She's the owner of Allure Hair and Company, has spent over a decade as a cosmetologist, and is also a certified matchmaker with a deep passion for relationships. Inspired by her own story, Kilie founded the Family Stability Alliance, where she advocates for creating loving, stable homes for children. We hope you enjoy the show. Hey there, friends. Welcome to another episode of Stronger Marriage Connection podcast. I'm Dr. Dave here at Utah State University alongside Dr. Liz Hale, our psychologist. We are bringing you the very best that we have in research and resources, along with a few tips and tools to help you create the marriage of your dreams. Okay, Liz, super excited about our guest today. She is passionate not only about pageants, but also about healthy relationships. She's currently Mrs. South Valley here in Utah, and she'll be running for Mrs. Utah here in a few weeks, March 13th, 14th, right? We're joined by Kilie Tomadakis. Welcome to the show, Kilie.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
We're so excited that you're here to dive into an important topic, to learn a little bit more about you and your platform. And can we just jump right in, Kilie, and have you share a bit about your childhood, about growing up? I grew up in Payson, Utah. You were there in Benjamin, so that same area. I actually have a daughter right now living in Salem over in that area. So I'm very familiar with that part of Utah County. So I'd love to hear just maybe even start about your childhood and your parents' relationship growing up. What was that like?
Yeah. So when I was 3 years old, well, I guess I should start back at the very beginning. When I was born, my parents were married. And when I was 8 months old, they actually got divorced. And my stability up home bringing wasn't necessarily the best. I had a father who was addicted to substance and went through incarceration, and there was abuse. It was just a very unstable environment. So that's why my mom decided to ultimately divorce. And when I was 3 years old, she was dating somebody else and decided that she wanted to get married. And my father actually gave up his parental rights. He knew that he couldn't provide that stable home environment for us. And he knew that my mother and her new husband could. So he went ahead and gave up those rights. And my father then adopted my brother and I. And we have just been one big happy family. It's so amazing. We actually are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So he was able to then have us sealed to my parents. And I'm just really proud of the both of them, knowing where they came from and all the challenges that they went through. My mom is such an amazing, strong role model for me, knowing that she was able to leave that situation and wanted to provide her kids with a better home and better parents and a better life. And my dad being able to come in and take on the responsibility of two kids that weren't his and make them feel like they were his from the very beginning, and that he had so much unconditional love to give us. And he gave us a lot of stability growing up. So it was an amazing childhood.
Yeah, it really sounds like it. It sounds like you said, an amazing man, a role model, I think, of sorts, and come in and, jump right in your relationship with him and them today, I assume, is happy and healthy with both of them.
Yeah. When I grew up, so they raised us there in Benjamin, like you said, and we grew up on a farm. I actually moved wheel lines and baled hay, and we were able to be a part of the 4-H program. And we actually were pig farmers, is what we call us. So we did a lot of livestock show, and we were able to raise the animals and sell them. And it was so unique because it taught us a lot about hard work. And anybody that's been on a farm or has worked on a farm knows how difficult that is. And it's a very unique experience. So I feel like that brought me a lot of my work ethic that I learned from those experiences. And it also created a lot of opportunity to have a disconnection from social media and electronics that gave me a really big opportunity to focus on like being present in relationships and working through tough situations and being able to step away from those electronics. So that was a unique experience as well.
Yeah. Wow. Good for you. Yeah. Learning the principles of hard work, of really, sticking with a task, and even something that you may not enjoy, learning to commit it, and you're sticking to it. Kilie, then you grew up? Did you go to Spanish Fork High School?
I did, yes.
And tell us about your relationships, growing up, dating, and marriage. Your love story.
Okay. So I went to Spanish Fork High School. I was a member of the cheer team and was able to have lots of relationships and engage socially through that experience. And when I was 17 years old, I graduated high school. I'm on the younger end. My birthday's in July, so I graduated when I was 17. And when I was 17 years old, like I stated before, my family are members of the LDS Church. So my dad was put in the bishopric of a singles ward. And he was like, come on, come with us. And I was like, absolutely not. The culture around a singles ward is like a meat market. Everybody's looking for their potential spouse. And I was not I was 17 years old. I was like, I'm not ready for that. But so it was kind of funny. Eventually he did get me to come. And while I was there, that is where I met my husband. And I remember our first experience. They have something there called a Linger Longer. It's where they provide like snacks and food treats to kind of have to create a social environment for the singles after they do their services. And when I did that, he came and sat down at a table, and I had actually brought my Miss Spanish Fork royalty with me to church that day because I was like, I am so intimidated and nervous to be by myself. And he came and sat down, and I asked him if he knew the guy's name that was like sitting across the way and how old he was. And he was like, I think he's around like 20, 25. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so old. I was like, I could never. And little did I know my husband was 25. So he was like, oh, my shots, my dreams are killed.
And so what is that? Let me get this straight. So you were asking him, right, your husband to be, about somebody else across the way.
Yes. Yep. And so when he told me his age, I was like, wow, he's so old. So it kind of put him like back a little bit, like, oh, she's obviously not looking for somebody like me. So as time went on, my parents actually formed a really good relationship with him, and they were setting him up on dates with coworkers of theirs, family, friends. And he would always come over to my house and bring his date and pick my parents up. And he drove this beautiful black Chevy jacked up truck. And every time he always was so chivalrous and would open the door for his date. And every time he came like through the door, I was always like, oh, this is the one. I hope it's going to work out for him. They are so cute together. They're good. They're going to be great together. And it never worked out. And my parents finally were like, I became single, and my parents were like, we know who your next date should be with. And he was like, who? And they're like, our daughter. So it was kind of intimidating. They gave him my phone number, and he didn't reach out. And I am a very bold, forward, bred personality type of person. So when he didn't reach out for a couple weeks, I messaged him and I was like, hey, I know you have my number. Why haven't you reached out to me?
That's funny.
Wow.
You bold.
And he was like, I guess I'm just intimidated. So anyways, from there, we went on our first date and we dated for 9 months and we were married in Payson, Utah Temple. And we have been married for 8.5 years now. And we have 3 beautiful children. We have Branson, who's our 6-year-old, Trey, who's our 3-year-old, and Lennon. She is 21 months. And they're the light of our lives. They're really busy, but they're a lot of work. And our marriage is unique. We have a lot of love to give, but as any relationship, we have things that we have to work on. And we're not picture perfect, but I put us in a frame. So
You put us with that's pretty cute. That's great. Well, I'm glad you're not opposed to hard work, Kilie, with your upbringing on a pig farm. You know, and I think there's something to be said about that with marriage and family, because it is hard work. You find out what you're made of, right? If you didn't know beforehand by being a farmer, you certainly find out when you're in the thick of it all. So good for you. Happy. And along those lines of hard work, please share with us more about your careers and businesses and why you do what you do. We want to hear it all.
yeah, so I decided when I was in high school that I was actually going to school to be in elementary education. And as time kind of took its course, it just wasn't feeling right. As I went to school, I was looking into UVU and down at Dixie University, and it just wasn't feeling right. And I have a really good friend who encouraged me to go to cosmetology school. She was like, it's something that you've always been super passionate and good at. I actually have a couple pictures I'm going to show throughout this. So this is actually a picture of me when I was 4 years old. And I was like always a hairstylist. I did not want my mom to touch my hair. And so it's unique that was, I feel like it was always inbred in me and innate that I was passionate about beauty and doing hair. So I decided to go to hair school, but my family and those around me kind of took pause with it. They were very shocked that I would decided to pursue something else, which kind of seemed on a whim to them. And we had a lot of people in our line of ancestors that decided to do hair that maybe it didn't work out for them. They didn't pursue the career after they had went to school. So they really wanted me to go to college and get a degree. And I was like, I don't think so. I don't think that's what I'm doing. So I ended up going to hair school right after I had graduated high school. And during that time, I was also dating my now husband. And I was working a full-time job and going to school full-time, trying to support myself through that because I wasn't receiving support financially. My parents really wanted me to work hard and to earn that myself. I think that's a common theme of everything growing up, even on the farm, was you get way more out of things with hard work and dedication when you put your heart into it, and it's not something that's just given to you on a silver platter. So it was challenging being such a young girl and trying to figure out all of those difficult things of life that come with dating and potential marriage conversations and figuring out how to pay your bills for the first time and really stepping out into the world. So that was challenging, but I have been doing hair now for 10 years and I just rebranded to Allure Hair & Co. I provide many services, not just doing hair. I pierce ears, I do eyebrows, and I do extensions and all of that. So that has been super fun. And recently, I actually just stepped into another career path that I've kind of taken on as a little bit more of a side gig apart from doing hair. And that has been matchmaking. So I am a matchmaker and I work for a certified matchmaking company. It's called Latter-day Saint Matchmaking. And so it is LDS faith-based. And it's a very unique experience, to say the least.
Well, you are a go-getter, Kilie. That's beautiful.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you mentioned, I mean, hard work and driven and goals and just you make it happen. I love that.
We'll be right back after this brief message. And we're back. Well, let's dive right in.
So, tell us a little bit about the Mrs. Utah America, the program, and how it connects to your service initiative and why you're interested in healthy relationships.
So there are some different categories in the Mrs. Utah organization. They each represent different things, and they have a different score that you can get for each of them. So we have to do an interview, and that is worth the highest score, I guess you could say. And we have an opening number portion that we have to do. It's a little dance. It's not part of our score, but it is a fun little portion to do. We get to wear cute dresses. This year we're wearing gold, so I'm assuming it's going to be super flashy and sparkly. And then we head into the division of swimming suit, and that is a portion that is part of our total. I think that portion is super unique and fun because we're all mothers and our bodies have been through a lot, but learning that it's still important to take care of yourself and maintain yourself and create positive affirmations around bodies and what our bodies can do, especially for our daughters, and creating a good example for young women. Then we move into the evening gown portion, and I'm super excited to show my gown. It's a very unique piece. I don't think I've ever seen it in any part of the competition in any pageant that I've watched before. It's one of my favorite colors, but it has a lot of personality to it, and I think it represents me well. So I'm excited to show everybody that. You'll have to look for it. And then we also do the costume portion of the competition. It's very unique to the Mrs. Utah America organization. And I will be dressing up as an elevated cowgirl to kind of tie in that piece of my upbringing on the farm.
Mm-hmm. And who you are today, right?
Yeah, and who I am today. All the hard work and dedication.
Yeah, that's a beautiful combination.
But in this organization, it is really unique because there is no prize money. There's no... In different organizations, sometimes they give you cars or sponsorships from different people, lots of scholarship money you can use towards education and things like that. But this is just strictly all about platform. These people are putting their hearts out there, and every woman has been through a difficult experience. And that is what it's all about, is them making a difference in their communities and our state, and really overall trying to make a difference in our nation as a whole and how we can come together more.
And this is coming up in March. Give us the dates and location, please.
So it's in Murray, Utah. It's going to be at Murray High School, and it's March 13th and 14th. 13th is just the interview portion that not everybody gets to see, but 14th is the actual show that you can purchase the tickets for. And I don't think they have an actual time frame set yet, but I would believe it would be around 7:00.
Well, I wish you all the best on that.
Thank you.
What are you doing? Let's talk about your platform, which I think is so interesting. I love hearing about your background and your parents' initial marriage and how disappointing that was, and your dad's struggle, and then this wonderful stepfather coming in. Tell us more about that and what you're standing for in marriage and family, Kilie.
So the story of me growing up and my birth father giving up his rights to me, and my stepfather stepping in and adopting me, has given me passion behind my platform. It's called Family Stability Alliance. It's all about creating successful, stable homes for children. And I have been working very closely with the Utah Marriage Commission, and also with their specialist, Naomi, who is over the hidden gems. And we are working really diligently to create an online toolkit to use for people to access that is free and downloadable in every nation, country, so that people are able to have access to things like how to have hard conversations with their children, how to create connection with their children, how to create better connections in their marriage, whether they've been married for 5 years or 25 years. And I think that this is such an important topic because it's under an umbrella of so many things that go into creating those healthy relationships and stabilities. But having that second chance of growing up in a stable environment and a stable home with loving parents who provided all of the necessary needs that I needed and more, and were supportive. They created boundaries. I had so many loving examples of that growing up. And I think that unfortunately, there are people out there who either don't know how or haven't been put in a place where they have the tools to be able to provide their children with that. So having those resources put out to people where they can access them anytime for free is such an important part to my heart that I really want to share.
Mm-hmm. We absolutely love the opportunity we have here at the Utah Marriage Commission to partner with you, Kilie, on this, the Family Stability Alliance, your passion for healthy relationships. So yeah, we consider this just a big win-win because relationships today, I mean, it's everything. You see, when societies fall apart, it's really the breakdown of the family. So yeah, kudos. We're so grateful to be able to help you, with this any way we can with your platform. So,
well, and you have so many different resources as well. Just to name a few, like the marriage week that you have that's going on, and you guys provide classes for even parents who are incarcerated to be able to have those parenting classes. And there's just so much growth and opportunity within the organization. And I couldn't have done it better myself. So it was just awesome to be able to share in your platform as well.
And we're so grateful. Yeah, we agree. All kinds of great resources for Utahns and beyond, all to help strengthen families, parenting, and couple relationships. So yeah, like I said, God, we feel like this is just a big win-win for both of us, and just an honor, to have you on board and helping us. And hopefully we can help you. So, Kilie, I would love to know, I don't know, maybe just share a unique fact about you. Anything, I don't know, unique that you feel like that you want to share?
This is one of my favorite questions that I get asked because I really do have a very unique story. And it also ties very personally to my platform. When my mom was 13 weeks pregnant with me, I was actually diagnosed as trisomy 13. And the whole entire pregnancy, I was being watched, and they actually encouraged her to abort the pregnancy. They said that it would not be viable about 2 weeks outside of the womb, and that I was expected to pass away and not to live. And when she went in for right before her 30-week, or I think it was about 36-week ultrasound, she was able to receive a blessing from the bishop of her faith. And she went in the next day for that routine checkup, and all of the signs and symptoms of the trisomy 13 were gone. And it was truly a miracle. Everybody was astonished. It was like, truly, how did this happen? This is a miracle. So I believe that is why I'm here. I believe I'm here for a greater purpose, and that I have a passion behind my platform and the story and the upbringing that I've had to be able to bring awareness and knowledge to families and how important they are and how important it is to create stable environments. And I'm so thankful that I get to share that story. And that is a really big part of me and who I am.
Wow. A miracle. I mean, literally, Kilie, you're a miracle, baby, doing miraculous things still, I might add. Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't think that happens often, where you go in and suddenly there's a brand new picture, right? At 36 weeks gestation. That's incredible. Good for you. I love that story. That's a standout. What do you hope people, especially, let's say young women, mothers, old women like me, what do you hope that we take away from watching your journey in the Mrs. Utah America pageant, Kilie?
I think that pageants are exceptionally important because I think that it gives you a voice to be able to share with the world your passions, your dreams, things that you hope to be able to change and make a difference in. And as mothers and wives, people who have careers, we have so many hats that we're wearing, right? And it's so important that we take time as mothers and wives to be able to pour back into our own cup, because all of those things can be really depleting. And if we're not doing something that's for us, then we have a hard time often keeping going and having motivation to do the things that we need to do. So I think just people being able to realize that no matter how old you are, passions and dreams are still something that you should chase after and always be filling into your cup so that you can fill into others as well.
Love it. Love it. Well said, Kilie. And Kilie, before this, I wasn't aware of the, here pageants and scholarships and money and this, maybe this motivation behind it all. But this just fascinates me that this Mrs. Utah American pageant, that there's none of this external dollars behind it. It is solely driven by, this passion. And I think kind of honestly, many people think that pageants are about crowns and gowns. So I'm curious then, what has competing in the Mrs. Utah American pageant actually taught you?
So like I said, each portion is very unique. We have the interview portion. I think that portion has taught me how to be a more eloquent speaker and to really dig deep inside myself and find out what I value. What are things that's important to me? What's the story that I want to share? The swimsuit portion really has given me confidence to step into a role where I'm able to be a good example and to also put into me something that makes me happy and something that makes me thrive every single day is focusing on my physical and mental health, getting outside and walking and working out and showing that I can also take care of my body. I was actually diagnosed with a thyroid condition. I have Hashimoto's, and that was right after my second son was born. And it flipped my world upside down. I thought that I was experiencing severe postpartum depression. I had never experienced it before. And when I went in to get my levels checked, they were all sorts of out of whack. And I even remember my doctor didn't educate me very well on what it was. And when I went in to pick up my prescription, I was like, okay, so I just take this and then we're going to be good, right? And the guy was like, have you talked to your doctor? And I was like, well, no, he just told me that I needed to come pick up this medication. And he's like, you might want to have a discussion with him. This is something that you're going to be taking for the rest of your life. And it just like hit me. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I might have to really make some changes in my life physically. And I have had to change my eating habits. And I've had to start working out more and really focus on bringing down my stress levels and getting enough sleep and mental clarity. So that has been an important part of the swimsuit division for me, is being able to reflect on the hard thing that I went through and where I am now and really taking care of my body. And the evening gown portion, I just really want my kids to know that I practice what I preach. And I'm always telling them, whether they're in their dirt biking competitions or they're playing baseball, whatever they're doing, that sometimes it's hard and sometimes we have to put ourselves out there. And you might not win the crown and the sash at the end of the day, but the work that I've gone through preparing for this pageant has made me grow so much as a person. And that is the part that I'm just so excited to get up there and just show my kids that no matter how old you are and just keep pushing through and chase your dreams and your passions.
Wow. Amazing lessons, Kilie. Yeah. As a motivated mom, and it's the growth, right? Not necessarily I got to get the crown, but it's that whole process. That's what you're teaching life is about, taking risks and moving forward and growth and learning. So wonderful. Love it.
You've already won that personal sash and crown, Kilie. Good for you.
We'll be right back after this brief message. And we're back. Well, let's dive right in.
What relationship advice do you have for young women, let's say in their teens, early 20s, who are dating and looking for love?
I think that they need to be validated. I think that dating right now is hard. A lot of people that I share in experiences with, it's changed, especially with a lot of things being online now. It's definitely a unique experience. I think my biggest advice for them would be to become a good communicator before going into marriage. Being able to know your values and being able to have conversations with people, hard conversations, easy conversations, just making sure that you are able to articulate all the things that you're feeling on the inside, because communication is such an important part of marriage and dating. And also, I think something that's funny, because I got married so young, I was 19, and I really didn't think about big picture things. I was thinking about love and how many kids do you want to have and do you want to own your own house type of a thing. But I think that there's a lot more that goes into marriage. You're going to be with that person, hopefully, for longevity, and thinking about things like 401k or what do you want to do in retirement? And those are never questions that I would have ever asked as a 19-year-old girl or even been thinking about. So I think that those are important topics to hit on, because those could be controversial with your partner later in life.
Well said. That big picture, right? Whew. That's really wise. Where can our listeners find out more about you and your journey?
So I have my Instagram platform, and it is Mrs. South Valley. And then hopefully with the Utah Marriage Commission, we'll be launching those packets that I talked about. Hopefully that will be soon before the pageant comes. And also just giving people the chance to check out the hidden gems that are already online.
Yeah, we love your help with that, Kilie. And if you're interested, for our listeners in following Kilie's journey, we'll be sure to put those links in our show notes. So be sure to check those out. Kilie, as we wrap up, we like to ask all of our guests a couple of questions. First one, in honor of the name of our podcast, what do you feel like is a key to a stronger marriage connection?
Increase connection and a decrease in distraction. I think focusing on creating those connections and going on trips, still dating each other, still making time for each other, because you get really busy, especially when kids are involved. You know, as for me, working multiple jobs, there is a lot of things that I have to put my attention to. But I think being intentional about the time and who you're with. When I'm with my kids, I'm putting 100% into that. When I am on a date with my husband, putting 100% into that. When I'm focusing on the pageants, I'm 100% in pageant mode. And I have an amazing support system behind me that helps me run everything else while I'm focusing on each individual portion. But I think that a huge issue in today's day and age is just the increased distractions that we have, and being able to really disconnect from that helps build a stronger connection in your marriage.
Well said. Yeah, we really do, Kilie, live in a day of distraction. So many things competing for our attention. Yeah, so mindfully, and whoever you're with, being all in and giving that attention. I like to say lack of attention leads to loss of connection. So yeah, absolutely right. Kylie, what about a take-home message as we wrap up? We call it a takeaway of the day. Is there a take-home message you want our listeners to remember from our discussion?
Yeah, the foundation of the home and people is right where it starts. If we're building stronger homes and stronger connections in the home, then we're building strong leaders, right? Which leads to really strong communities. When you have a strong community, it leads to a strong state. And when you have strong states, it leads to a strong nation. And all of that starts from the foundation right in the home.
Couldn't have said it better. Thanks so much, Kylie. Liz, what about you? What's your takeaway of the day?
I think, Kylie, you mentioned something about, your advice to young women who are dating is that foundation of self, that healthy me has to be there before a healthy we can be created, two healthy me's. And I think that can't be stressed enough. And that can be taught early, right? Taught early in the home from parents, teaching kids how to have a voice. I just really commend you that when you wanted to pursue cosmetology school, am I calling it the right name?
Yes.
And people were kind of against that, right? Because it hadn't worked for their family members. And I think, as I understood, you stayed true to that, which I really commend you. And it worked out beautifully. You knew in your heart, Kylie, you knew what was really meant to be a dream for yours. And you went after it. I really, really commend you for that. Look where we are today, Kylie.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that can be difficult to put yourself out there and to really stick to your core and who you are without letting other people affect that.
That's right. And what's the worst thing that could happen is we just do an about face. We do something else, right? What's the worst thing that could happen if something doesn't work? But to first take that plunge is just so commendable. I appreciate that. Dave, what about you? What's your take-home message from our interview today with Kylie?
Yeah, Kylie, I loved your story of overcoming obstacles and objections and all these things that can stand in the way. The resilience, the passion, the drive, the motivation to do good things in this world, and to whether it is you want to run for a pageant, whether it's a cosmetology or school or another goal, or to pivot and go a different direction. We get one chance at this. We get one life, and I feel like that already, as young as you are, I feel like you're young. You've been able to do so much and go in so many directions, and yet have such an impact at home. But now this broader message, and I think what really impresses me most, Kylie, is that there's none of this external, reward, this big cash prize, and I'm doing it for all of this. But truly, this is that you're passionate about spreading about healthy families, healthy homes, relationships, and that's what life is all about for you. And it just comes across very strongly. So
Dave, because Kylie's determination really started in utero. When you think about it, right? That unborn utero. I mean, that tiny precious soul. I mean, how much determination was there, Kylie? I don't know. It's something. Truly a miracle. Plus, it just speaks well of you.
Thank you so much, Liz.
Yeah, before she was born. Wow. Well, Kylie, we appreciate you again coming on. Thanks for taking time. We wish you the very best. You have our full support here at the Utah Marriage Commission. Liz and I, it's been an honor to have you here, and we look forward to hearing more about what happens March 13th and then 14th with the pageant. So good luck with things, and thanks for joining us today. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
All right, friends, that does it for us. We'll see you next time on another episode of the Stronger Marriage Connection.
And remember, it's the small things that create a stronger marriage connection. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for joining us today. Hey, do us a favor and take a second to subscribe to our podcast and the Utah Marriage Commission YouTube channel at Utah Marriage Commission, where you can watch this and every episode of the show. Be sure to smash the like button, leave a comment, and share this episode with a friend. You can also follow and interact with us on Instagram at Stronger Marriage Life and Facebook at Stronger Marriage. So be sure to share with us which topics you loved or which guests we should have on the show next. If you want even more resources to improve your marriage or relationship connection, visit strongermarriage.org, where you'll find free workshops, e-courses, in-depth webinars, relationship surveys, and more. Each episode of Stronger Marriage Connection is hosted and sponsored by the Utah Marriage Commission at Utah State University. And finally, a big thanks to our producer, Rex Polanis, and the team at Utah State University, and you, our audience. You make this show possible. The opinions, findings, conclusions, and recommendations expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the views of the Utah Marriage Commission.